few. And let's come up on a live picture. One little shower in northern Polk County, one just south of Waconia. That should move through Chaska, and this one here through northern Hennepin County. Other than that, it's going to be a quiet night. Well, outside right now in the Twin Cities, 74 degrees. Still mild out there. 63 is the dew point, 69% relative humidity. And the winds, they've been southwesterly all day long, kind of gusty. They'll taper off sometime tomorrow, not tonight. Into the almanac. The statistics for today, 77 and 68. A little over 3/10 of an inch of precipitation in those showers that rolled through last night. I was out in Minnetonka, and it just poured on us for about an hour or so. 99 and 58 are the record. Sun sets at 8:47. Satellite pictures pick up the bright white clouds of the rain last. Heavy rainfall, southeastern Nebraska, southern Iowa. Some places reported 8-9 inches of rain. This swirl moving out, some clearing skies there. Tomorrow, a nice day over the Twin Cities, Minnesota, western Wisconsin. This storm will be on the southwestern horizon. Much of its energy will pass to the south of us, but we will see some rainfall late tomorrow night, and especially on Tuesday. The AccuWeather 5 forecast. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy and about 62 degrees should do it for the low, with a westerly wind trying to taper off a little bit. When you wake up tomorrow morning, about 68, a mix of clouds and sun. Now looking ahead, Monday, not a bad day. Partly cloudy skies, a touch below average. I think the average high is about 84. Then we get into Monday night and Tuesday, thunderstorms. Some of those could produce some heavy rainfall once again. Let's look ahead to the week, all right? That was the last in the series of systems, so a stormy day on Tuesday. The longer-range computer models are suggesting some dry weather Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. You know how those long-range models behave on us, but something to hope for there.
Another nice Monday, though. The folks who work weekends are getting a little angry about this.
You're getting a break.
I know, that's true. Thanks.
See you later.
Well, coming up next to sports, the Twins and the Orioles wrap up their weekend series at the Dome.
Plus, stock car fans are once again holding their breath after a crash today at Talladega. Eric Gislason is in next.
See your Pontiac excitement dealers now. The people of Northwest Airlines talk about the future.
Northwest happens to be the best airline that there is.
Northwest has been the #1 on-time airline for the last 3 years, and we're dedicated to continue that.
Northwest has the highest score ever on the FAA safety inspection. We're proud of that.
It's easy to be up and positive because we are the greatest.
The 45,000 employees of Northwest really care about people.
Introducing the new Pizza Hut Trio Meal. Any medium one-topping pizza, breadsticks, and 4 cans of Pepsi, all for just $10.99. Call 488-8888 for delivery. Also available for carryout.
If you thought the best part of summer was over, your Heartland Chevy Geo dealers have some very good news. We're coming through with closeout pricing on every remaining truck. Closeout pricing on every remaining car during the greatest Chevy closeout ever. Huge rebates, option package savings, low financing, on top of record-breaking dealer discounts. The biggest event of the summer is going on now at your Heartland Chevy Geo dealers.
Well, sports time now. I know the Orioles coming into town on a big roll. A lot of people were concerned the Twins might get blown away.
They did what they could against them, which is a lot.
Did well.
Yeah, not bookend wins in their 4-game series against Baltimore is what the Twins are going to have to settle for as they now pack their books and their bags for a 6-game road trip west. Twins fans wanted to make one thing perfectly clear today, and that was that they weren't going to settle for a loss. They blew a 2-0 lead early. Did the Twins came back to take a 3-2 lead in the 5th and made it 4-2 in the 7th when Shane Mack doubled deep to center there to score Pat Mears, who was on his horse at home. Just in case that wasn't enough, Big Dave stepped up in the 8th for a little insurance, and like a good neighbor, Winnie was there for his 15th homer of the season. Dave had a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs today. Jim Deshaies picked up his 11th win. Rick Aguilera, his 27th save. Twins beat the Birds by a score of 5-2. They're off tomorrow, but start up 3 against Seattle on Tuesday. Well, Swedish steel turned into tin today at the final round of the U.S. Women's Open of Golf. The victor came with an American-made tag. A good old-fashioned Hoosier State Storm whipped through Crooked Stick Country Club early this morning and made a few other items in its path crooked. No one was hurt. Third-round leader Helen Alfredsson of Sweden was caught up in a dogfight to the finish. She birdied 15 for a one-stroke lead over 3 other golfers with that putt. But the big story would end up being an American by the name of Lori Merton. Watch this chip on 16. Is this nice? It would get her to within 1 of the lead. The game's pretty easy when you don't even have to pull the putter out of your bag. But Lori's best shot was her approach shot on number 18. She needed a birdie to tie Alfredsson, and I would say that this iron had birdie written all over it. Now, Alfredsson bogeyed 17, meaning she would need birdie on 18, but you can see on this putt coming up, and especially by the expression on Lori Merton's face, victory wasn't Alfredsson's, it would turn out to be Merton's, and so was the $144,000 in first place prize money. 30 years after winning the British Open, New Zealander Bob Charles won the seniors version today with that birdie roll on the final hole. Charles shot a 3 over 74, but still managed to beat Gary Player and Tommy Horton by 1. Closer to home, a seniors tour may be in the cards for this year's National Car Open champion, maybe as soon as next year. 49-year-old George Shortridge needed a miracle on 18 today at bunker to catch Olympics Bill Brask. Watch the shot. But wait, it gets even better. The putt from 35 feet out. Keep an eye out for a golf ball here. There it is, and there it goes to force a tiebreaker with Brask, which Shortridge later won, giving him 3 National Car Opens in 3 different decades.
This is the first time I've ever actually won a golf tournament hitting the ball the way I did. My putter brought me out of everything, and that putting is just so important. I made more long putts here in 3 days than I've probably made in the last 10 years. Just a miracle.
Shortridge pocketed $7,000. Edina's John Harris finished 3rd behind Brask. The NASCAR race this afternoon was the Die Hard 500 at Talladega, the site of the helicopter crash that killed Davey Allison 2 weeks ago. Before today's race, Davey's wife Liz addressed the crowd to thank racing fans for their support and prayers. Then, Davey's uncle Donnie Allison took the famed number 28 car for a spin around the track. Unfortunately, during the race, it was another crash that caused concern for the driver. Stanley Smith suffered a skull fracture and some paralysis on his right side after hitting the wall here. He is still unconscious tonight in an Alabama hospital. By the way, Dale Earnhardt won today's race, just getting to the finish line in front of Ernie Irvan. The finish in the overall standings of the Tour de France wasn't nearly as close. Spain's Miguel Indurain won his 3rd straight Tour title by almost 5 minutes. The top American was Andy Hampsten, who finished 8th. Coming up in about 5 minutes is Sunday Sports Wrap with our own Joe Schmidt for a preview of tonight's show. Let's throw it on over to Joe.
All right, thanks a lot, Eric. Another star-studded show tonight on tap on the Wrap. First off, Chuck Knobloch will talk Twins baseball. Are they dead? We'll ask the Knobber. Also, the Minnesota LPGA Classic is coming up in a month, and defending champ Chris Cheddar will join me live to talk about that. And on Beat the Pro, a 4-time All-Pro, Randall McDaniel of the Vikings. Good stuff coming at you in a couple of minutes.
Didn't know there was a golf club big enough. Let's check down some scores before we let you go for tonight. American League, Milwaukee over Chicago 7-3, New York over California 9-8, Detroit blank Kansas City. It was Cleveland over Seattle, and it was Toronto over Texas in the 9th 9-7. National League, big weekend series, San Fran beating Philadelphia. It was Atlanta over Pittsburgh. In 11, Chicago beat Houston. In 11, St. Louis beat Colorado. In 10, Montreal beat San Diego. New York blank Los Angeles. And Florida beat Cincinnati 7-3.
You said that fast.
Good night.
Okay, thanks, Eric.
Still ahead, the house of your dreams, at least until it rains.
Yeah, we'll take you to the Great Sandcastle Construction Contest coming up next.
Mow the lawn, clean your room, apologize to your sister, then I hear no. But when I say AT&T, collect call, will you accept? That's different. If some company says they can do what I do for less, I can save you time and money.
Spend $40 a month from home and now get 15% off all collect and card calls.
I've probably brought more people together than the Justice of the Peace.
Call today to enroll and start saving with the iPlan from AT&T.
Attention truck buyers, the big Viking Land GMC Truck Summer Sell Down is on now. Buy now from the best inventory they've had all year, including Suburbans and Sierra Extended cabs. Buy now with great summertime cashback incentives. $750 back on a GMC Sonoma, $1,000 back on a Jimmy, Safari, or GMC conversion van. Plus, qualified commercial buyers get another $500 cash back on top of that. Act now. Don't let these tremendous summer values pass you by. See your Viking Land GMC truck dealers today.
How well you see is our first concern. We also care about how you look. We're Walmart's Vision Center with everything you want in eyewear at a low Walmart price every day.
You can see the savings.
Quality frames to suit your style, a professional staff, precision equipment, and your satisfaction guaranteed. Walmart's Vision Center. Any way you look at it,
We've got what you're looking for.
Walmart. Always.
Well, another Minneapolis Aquatennial is over.
Yeah, the Festival of Lakes transformed the shores of Lake Calhoun today. Shovels and pails were the tools of the trade for the 11th annual sandcastle competition. Amateur sculptors created cars, an octopus, and a mermaid on the beach. One entry was named after the festival. The Aquatennial Fresh Toothpaste brought smiles to many faces. The splendid sculptures will soon sift back into the sand. It seems like such a waste. Maybe they could just shellac them and they could stay.
That's a good idea. It's always a shame to see them go. That's it for us. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah, remember Sunday Sports Wrap is coming up next. Good night.
From the north, we believe in the area from Serb-controlled positions.
Although the level of fighting was less than in recent days, the continuing assault on the city and the UN soldiers now threatens the peace talks and increases the chance of Western military intervention. Under his mandate, the UN commander has the authority to call in air support to strike at guns that fire on his troops. The question now is whether an attack that inflicted much embarrassment but no casualties is sufficient reason to call in the warplanes. Paul Davis, ITN, Sarajevo.
In South Africa, one of the bloodiest attacks on whites in recent memory. Officials say 5 black gunmen burst into a church Sunday and opened fire. 10 worshipers were killed, dozens wounded. The attack came one day before black and white political parties try to negotiate an end to apartheid. Similar attacks have come before other important political breakthroughs in South Africa. 6 young children left alone died in a house fire in Philadelphia Sunday. All of the victims were 6 years old or younger. 5 were brothers and sisters. An older brother and sister managed to escape from the fire. Children's mother says she had been walking a friend home when the fire started. No word on what caused it. 7 members of an Arkansas family have drowned in a boating accident. 9 family members had crowded onto a fishing boat meant for only 3 people. No one was wearing a life jacket and only one could swim. The victims included the mother, father, and 5 children. The youngest was 18 months old. 2 girls survived. We'll have more news in just a moment.
Foster Brooks, the man who left Johnny Carson speechless.
Reason for being loaded tonight. I've been drinking all day.
America's lovable, tipsy, funny man.
And the doctor was giving me my physical a checkup.
Available on video for the first time only by calling 1-800-832-5200.
My wife is from just outside of Rock.
Great family entertainment.
I had one brother-in-law went ice fishing one day, brought him 200 pounds of ice. His wife fried it, and they both drowned. I like that. I got a boat. I hit it right in the middle.
The master of nightclub comedy will delight you with the funniest video ever. Now, here's how to order. Call 1-800-832-5200 and ask for the Foster Brooks video for only $19.95, plus $4.95 shipping and handling per tape.
Republicans and Democrats both agree President Clinton's economic plan will probably pass. On NBC's Meet the Press this weekend, Treasury Secretary Lloyd Bentsen claims rejecting it will spell recession.
Up spike in interest rates, and with that you normally correlate a drop in the stock market. And the last thing we want to see is this country drop back into recession. You remember the previous administration thought the economy was coming out of the recession twice and decided they didn't have to do anything to settle for the status quo. We must not do that.
But Republican Senator Pete Domenici says he's learned a lesson from the failed tax increase plan of the Bush administration.
Frankie, how can we vote for this when it essentially, I mean, everybody is wondering how you can impose this big a tax this quick. Some of it's retroactive. You know, people are now paying a higher tax today and they don't even know it. How can you do that and expect, now they say 8 million new jobs? If that isn't just a joke.
Senate and House negotiators will begin talks on the budget compromise again this week. One of the more hotly contested aspects of the plan, a proposed gas tax increase of up to 9 cents a gallon over 5 years. And that gas tax is the subject of our comment line. We're asking what you think about the proposed 9-cent gas tax. And we're wondering, if you don't support it, what you think is the answer to reducing the deficit. To give us your opinion or to hear what others say, call our comment line at 1-900-370-NEWS. The call costs $1.95 a minute. Residents in Los Angeles could be eating and smoking in restaurants this week. A city ordinance that banned smoking in restaurants was supposed to take effect starting Monday. But over the weekend, opponents turned in almost 100,000 petitions demanding the measure be repealed. A group representing 7,000 restaurants organized the petition drive. If most signatures are valid, a referendum will decide the issue. The ban is expected to be delayed while city officials verify signatures. In medical news, root canal. Just those two words can send shivers up your spine. But a new procedure makes having a root canal less time-consuming and hopefully less painful. Twinkle Chisholm has the story.
Well, it's nice to have you here again, Claudia. Claudia's a real veteran.
She ought to be a veteran. Claudia Johnson has had a dozen root canals in half as many months. She was surprised when her trail of symptoms led to her teeth.
I just had symptoms of just headache, sinus pain, and I didn't realize that that's what it was attributed to.
Dr. Wally Brown knew what the problem was. Claudia needed root canals.
And it's not a matter of neglect. Claudia has good hygiene. She takes good care of her teeth. Could have been a deep cavity when she was a teenager, and a little bit of chronic inflammation in the pulp, and it just gradually gets worse and worse over years.
The stuff inside a root is called pulp. If the pulp gets inflamed, it wants to behave like any other tissue and swell. But because it's surrounded by a hard tooth, it can't, and that causes the pain. If the pulp is not removed, the tooth will eventually die.
It can be removed with no harm to the tooth. So it is a nourished, healthy tooth. It just doesn't have a pulp.
After the top of the tooth is drilled away, tiny files, barely bigger than a pin, are used to clean the pulp from the root.
If we don't remove all that, then you tend to get some discoloration of the tooth.
At this point in the old two-visit type root canal, medicine would be put in the canal and the patient would be sent home for a week or so. Now doctors realize the medicine really didn't make much of a difference. So now they just go on to the next step. And Claudia's happy about that.
And had I done those in 2 visits, waiting a week or 2 in between until all of the pain was gone or they'd calmed down, it could have gone on for several months.
This is the gutta percha. This is the material we fill the canals with. You can see it's a bit of a flexible, stiff, rubber-like material.
After the canal is filled, Claudia will go to her family dentist for the crown. In fact, all 12 crowns. Having a dozen root canals is a bit of an ordeal, but Claudia says it's been worth it.
I feel like a different person. I'd wake up every morning with pain in my both sides here. And I just thought it was perhaps the way I had slept, you know, and, but, you know, I feel like 10 years younger, literally.
This is Twinkle Chisholm reporting.
More news just ahead.
As the rising waters of the Mississippi River began to swell in Minnesota, residents near the Twin Cities were the first to feel the devastation of the Great Flood of '93. An all-news channel was on the scene covering the story and the effects of the dangerous currents. As the destructive waters flowed south, residents along the Mississippi and its tributaries began a brave struggle to save their towns. Now you can have a complete video record of the event by calling 1-800-21-FLOOD for your own VHS copy of The Great Flood of '93. Real news footage, shot by crews on the scene. Stories of hope and despair. To order your copy of The Great Flood of '93, have your checkbook, MasterCard, or Visa ready when you call 1-800-21-FLOOD. Pay $19.95 plus $5 shipping and handling. Portions from the proceeds of the sale of this tape will go directly toward relief efforts for the flood victims. 1-800-21-FLOOD. Do you suffer from morning stiffness or aches, snoring, restless sleep? You deserve a better night's sleep. Try the Contour Pillow from Comfort Track. It's anatomically designed to match the natural shape of your neck and head as it aligns and supports. Ordinary and down pillows lose their shape and don't support your neck. Don't do this to your neck. The Contour Pillow comfortably supports your neck so your muscles can relax, reducing strain and allowing you to breathe more freely.
My husband isn't snoring any longer.
I did notice when I woke up after using the Contour Pillow a lack of stiffness in my upper shoulder and neck area.
The Contour Pillow is not available in stores. Doctors and chiropractors sell similar products for $50 and even $60. Get your Contour Pillow direct for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Don't wait until you have discomfort. Order now. Call now to order and we'll give you this zippered washable cover, a $5 value, free. Have your credit card ready and call now, 1-800-842-5500, or send $19.95 plus $4.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Chris Grote. The heat continues in the southeast. Oppressive heat indices, what it feels like outside, approaching 100, 110 degrees in the south central United States. That was on Sunday. That will continue into Monday. Torrential rainfalls very early Sunday morning moved into the Great Lakes, the flood-stricken areas, Nebraska, Iowa. One day of relief on Monday. More storms come into the forecast on Tuesday. These are the last satellite pictures, by the way. The west looks pretty good, pretty quiet weather there, so we won't dwell on that too long. The southeast, the afternoon storms, that will repeat itself on Monday, maybe bringing a brief relief from the heat, right? High temperatures nationwide as we start the new work week. Cool over the northwest. Highs will reach in the 60s in some areas. Oppressive heat in the southeast. Some records will be found once again. Okay, that's a look at the national weather. Now, local forecasts from around the nation.